is of no consequence. Although I suppose if you must identify me, you can identify me as the ghost of America past. Long past and your past. And what I have to tell you today is of great consequence at a time when America is on the brink of national collapse. You may believe you are living in the year 2010, but I can assure you this is the year 1775. History has come full circle, and the people who once drank deeply the refreshing waters of liberty and prosperity are now discovering that the wellspring is going dry, and their throats are growing parched under the scorching heat of an increasingly oppressive government. Ironically, the very government established to liberate them from the oppression of the British Empire. I know what some of you must be thinking, but surely, sir, the government of King George III was far more tyrannical than the federal government of the United States. In many ways it was. In other ways, however, the present federal government, in terms of its sheer size, its scope of power, and its abuse of authority, would have terrified even the King of Great Britain. The recent history of the United States government is a history of repeated injuries and unconstitutional usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over the individual states and the people. I need only direct your attention to 4 examples to illustrate my point. It has prohibited the states from enacting their own laws and regulations, while compelling them to submit to federal laws and regulations that violate the 10th Amendment. It has created myriad unconstitutional bureaucracies, staffed with legions of unionized workers whose compensation is contributing to the bankruptcy of the national treasury. It has imposed a confiscatory structure of income taxes on only half the population, while appropriating funds on a multi-trillion-dollar scale for entities and individuals not constitutionally authorized to receive them. Including approximately half the population that pays no income taxes whatsoever. It has imposed upon the people an utterly unconstitutional system of federally controlled health care, purposely crafted to destroy the private health care industry and supplant it with a single-payer system that compels the people to purchase medical insurance under penalty of law. I could go on, but I think I've made my point. The Crown levied only consumption taxes, and they were not nearly as burdensome or confiscatory as yours. We likewise labored under arbitrary and oppressive laws, but never to the degree of intrusion and control over everyday existence manifested by the federal government today. We, on the other hand, we literally had British bayonets at our collective throat. Agents of the Crown suspended our own legislatures, incited the Indian savages to attack us, plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. God knows we tried desperately on countless occasions to reconcile our differences with our British brethren, but our pleas and protests fell upon deaf ears. In much the same manner, your own pleas have been ignored by your own Congress. On March 23rd, 1775, my good friend Patriot delivered a remarkable oration at St. John's Church in Richmond, Virginia, in which he proclaimed that the time for pleading and supplication had drawn to a close, the time of irresolution had passed, and the necessity for action was upon us. He argued with great ingenuity and passion that if we truly wished to be free, we were of necessity to fight for that freedom. Patrick had faith in the power and providence of Almighty God, and the resolution and ability of the people to secure, by force of arms if necessary, the blessings of liberty for themselves and their posterity. Lend your ears and ask yourselves just how relevant my friend's words are today. And this is what he said. There is a just God who presides over the destinies of nations, one who will raise up friends to fight our battles for us. The battle, sir, is not to the strong alone, it is to the vigilant, the active, the brave. Besides, sir, we have no election. If we were base enough to desire it, it is now too late to retire from the contest. There is no retreat, but in submission and slavery. Our chains are forged. Their clanking may be heard on the plains of Boston. The war is inevitable, and let it come. I repeat, sir, let it come.